Okay, so let's start with who would like to read number 1?
Me, Shimi.
Okay, Sheme, can you read number 1?
Who was president during World War One?
So who was president during World War I?
Wilson.
Good. Say that one more time, Neilu.
Wilson.
Good.
Woodrow Wilson.
Yes. Woodrow.
Wilson.
Permanent.
Up here.
That's maybe. So the answer for everyone for who was president during World War I, Woodrow Wilson. Yeah. Who would like to read number 2?
I can read.
Okay, thank you, Silcham.
Roosevelt was president during the Great Depression.
Number 2.
Or number, I think you're on number 3, Silcham.
Yes.
Oh,
But that's okay. We can do number 3 right now. So who was president during the Great Depression and World War II?
Roosevelt.
Good.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Good. Roosevelt.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Good. Franklin Roosevelt. So let's all say that together. I want to hear everyone. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II?
Roosevelt.
Good. Yes, so Roosevelt, or you can say Franklin Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Good. Let's see. Nantimu, can you read number 2?
Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900.
1900s. And can someone tell me what was a war fought by the United States in the 1900s?
World
War
II.
II.
Good. World War II. What would be another correct answer?
Vietnam War.
War.
World
Korea
War
War. Vietnam War.
Vietnam War. Good. Was the Civil War fought in 1900s?
No.
No.
Oh, good. Okay, who would like to read number 4?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Nilu.
Who did the United States fight in World War II?
Yeah.
Japan, Germany, and Italy.
Good, Hassan. Yes.
Japan,
Germany and Italy.
and Italy.
Good. Japan, Germany, and Italy. Let's see. Who would like to read number 5?
Me,
Okay, Matan Darso.
before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in?
World War II.
Good. World. So this is asking for a war, and Eisenhower was in World War II. World War II. Good. See, who would like to read number 6?
When the
Okay, Hassan.
clock world what was the main concern of the United States?
Good. And what was that? What was the main concern of the United States?
Communism.
Communism.
Good. Communism. And what is the Communist Party? What does that mean?
Government choose
Government choose the leader.
Good. Government chooses the leader.
leader.
So on your citizenship application, they ask, were you ever a member of or involved in any way with the Communist Party? And what would you say?
No.
No.
No. And what is the Communist Party?
Communist Party is the leaders.
Good. Government
Government choose
the leaders.
the leader.
Here in the United States, we have a democracy. And who chooses the leaders?
Us.
People
Good.
choose.
People.
People.
Yeah, the people. Good. Us. We the people.
People. We the people.
We choose the leaders by voting. Good. Okay, who would like to read number 7? Dante, I see you smiling. Do you want to read number 7?
No, I'm not ready for the reading.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Good.
What movement tried to end racial discrimination?
Good.
The civil rights movement.
Civil rights movement.
Very good. Thank you. The civil rights movement. The civil rights
Right
movement.
movement.
Good. Who would like to read number 8?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Nelu.
One day Martin Luther King Jr. do.
Good. And what did he do?
Fight for civil rights.
Civil rights. He fought for civil rights.
Good. He fought for civil rights. Good. So after World War II, there was a large civil rights movement, and they wanted equal rights for Black Americans. And so we call that the civil rights movement. Good. And the last one, who would like to read number 9?
Me.
Okay,
May.
May, go for it.
What major and happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? United States. Teacher.
Very good.
The United States.
Good. Yes. So the correct answer is terrorists
That's
attack
attack.
the United States. Good. And because of this question, now on the citizenship application, they ask, were you ever involved in or any way associated with a terrorist organization?
Terrorist.
And
No.
what would you say?
No.
No.
Good. And what is a terrorist organization?
Make a boat.
So
A group of people.
soldier for
Fight government.
fight the government.
Fight the
So
government.
a terrorist organization, it's a group of people
People.
Who
who
had
hurt the
Who hurt
government
the government
and
and
other
other people.
people. So we think about September 11th, terrorist attack. When you attack someone, you hurt them, the United States. So a terrorist organization, an organization is a group of people who hurt the government
and other people.
and other people. Good. Now, a terrorist organization, they can be, someone who is a terrorist can be from any country. It's just people who hurt the government and other people. Like a problem we have here in the United States as people and guns who go out and hurt other people. They would also be terrorists. So a terrorist can be from any country. It's not just one country. It's anyone who hurts the government and other people. Good. Does anyone have any questions about these 100 questions?
No, teacher.
Okay, great. Good job, everyone. Now we're going to open to chapter 7. So let's look at page 106. 106. Today we're going to talk about the Constitution. So students, can you tell me what
Yeah.
is the supreme law of the land?
The
Constitution.
Nutrition.
Good, the Constitution. So the supreme law is the number 1. Supreme means number 1. So all of our laws here in the United States, they have to agree with the Constitution. And can you tell me what year was the Constitution written?
70, 70, 17,
1778.
1787.
Oh, 87.
87,
1787.
1787.
1787. So that's when the Constitution was written. And that was the original Constitution. And we'll talk a little bit about it today, but does anyone know already what is an amendment?
Change to
change the
Constitution.
Constitution.
Good.
Change
A change
Right?
to the
change the
Constitution.
Constitution.
So the Constitution was written in 1787, but since then we've had many different amendments. So the Constitution can change. And that was what the people who wrote the Constitution back in 1787, they wanted the Constitution to be able to change as our country changes.
Yes.
Because if the Constitution stayed the same, women couldn't vote, Black people, Asian people, Hispanic people could not vote, only white men could vote. So it's good our Constitution keeps changing so we can make our country more equal and fair for everyone. Okay, so let's look at page 106. And students, can you tell me, what do you see in these pictures?
Joe Biden and
White House.
White House.
Howard.
So this one's a little tricky because it is white and it does look like a house, but this is actually, we call this the Congress building.
Congress. Yes, Congress.
It is very confusing because it is white and it does look like a house. But this is the Congress.
Congress.
And yeah, this is Joe Biden. And who's Joe Biden?
President.
He's the president. Good. And what about this picture on the left? What do you see here? What's this?
We the people.
Constitution.
Good, Matandar. So it's the Constitution.
Constitution. The Constitution.
So this is what the original Constitution looks like. And we can see the first 3 words are we
The people.
people.
The people.
Good. So that's the first 3 words. Good. Oops. Okay, who would like to read for me? Sheme, would you like to read?
Yeah. The Constitution tells us how the government works. Each U.S. our more important laws. The Constitution is the supreme law, supreme law of the land. Super one.
Good. So supreme, this means the meaning of supreme is number one.
One.
So like we were just
Number one.
saying, that means all the laws have to agree with the Constitution.
Yes.
Good. So when the Constitution was written in 1787, that is when they started the United States government. Because remember, originally, when the colonists came from Europe, who was the leader of the 13 colonies? Remember? It was the King of
England.
Good. The King of England was the leader of the 13 colonies. But then when they had the war with the King of England, and what was one reason we fought the British?
We fight the British.
For freedom.
Yeah, for freedom. They wanted to choose their own leaders, and also because of high taxes. So the colonists wanted their own government. So when they won the war against the King of England, that's when the United States set up their own government and they wrote the Constitution. Good. So can you tell me one more? What is the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution.
Constitution. The
Good.
Constitution.
Constitution. And when we think about the word supreme, so we're saying number one or the highest, another one of the 100 questions asks, what is the highest court in the United States?
The Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court.
Good, the Supreme Court. So again, we see this word supreme, which means it is the highest, the number one.
Supreme Court.
Good. So if the Supreme Court says something, like if they say a law is okay, it's constitutional, that means the law can stay. Yeah. And how many people are on the Supreme Court?
9.
9.
9
Yeah,
people.
9 people. And this one, we haven't talked about it yet, but does anyone know who is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court?
John
Roberts.
Good. So on the Supreme Court, we call them justices, and the leader is called the Chief Justice.
Yes, sir.
Chief Justice, so that's the leader of the Supreme Court, and his name is
John Roberts.
John Roberts. Yep. Okay, who would like to read on page 107?
Teacher.
Okay, Nelu.
There are the 3 laws of the Constitution. We the people make our own government. This is the idea of self-government.
Good. So self-government, Self-government means that the people living in the United States, we get to vote for our leaders. So like how we just talked a few minutes ago about the Communist Party, the government chooses the new leaders. But here in the United States, the people get to choose the leaders. And students, can you tell me who gets to vote for the leaders?
Leader vote people. Our choose the leader.
So one of the questions is there's 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote.
A citizen 18 can vote.
Good. So citizens who are
18 can vote.
18 and older can vote.
Older can vote. Yeah.
So when everyone in this class becomes a citizen, you can be a part of the we the people who gets to choose the leaders of the United States. So you can vote for the president, senators, representatives, and also a governor, so the leader of your state. You get to choose who you want to make the choices for your state, your city, and the country. So here we can see, what do you see in this picture?
People.
People. Mm-hmm. And then what are these people doing?
Voting.
Voting? Yeah. And we said, who is this guy?
Joe Biden.
President.
The president, Joe Biden. Good. So this is the meaning of we the people. Is we the people get to vote for our leaders like Joe Biden. And can you tell me, so here in the United States, we have 2 major political parties. So when you vote, you can vote for this one or you can vote for that one. And what are our 2 major political parties?
Democracy and Republican.
Party and Republican Party.
Good. That's another one of the 100 questions. So we have 2 political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. So when you go and you vote, sometimes you'll get somebody else. There are other parties, but they're much smaller. The biggest parties, so we call them the major, because that means big, are Democrat or Republican. You'll see though, when you can vote, that sometimes you'll see other parties, but they're much smaller. So is Joe Biden, what's his political party?
Democratic
Party.
Good. So he's a Democrat.
Democrats.
And in what month do we vote for president?
November.
November. So last November, in November 2020, citizens 18 and older could vote, and they had to choose between Joe Biden, the Democrat, and who was the Republican?
Donald Trump.
Donald
Donald
Trump.
Trump.
Yeah, so more people voted for Joe Biden, so he won and became the new president. And how many years does a president serve for?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. Good. So he won in November 2020. So when will we have our next election for president?
2024.
Good, Sante. Yes. So in November 2024, you'll be able to vote citizens 18 and older will go to vote again for the next president.
Yes.
Now, there are other elections at different times. Like, for example, there's going to be a big election in next year in 2022. So you'll see if you're watching the news, over the next few months, you're going to hear more and more. We call this what's called a midterm election. So you won't vote for president, but people can vote for governors, for senators, for Republicans, and that's going to be another big election year. So on the news, you'll hear a lot about voting and the senators, the Republicans. You'll see a lot about an election next November 2022. So even when we're not voting for president, there are many elections that are still important that we have here in the United States. Good. Okay. So now I want to hear everyone. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words?
We the
We the people.
Good. We the people. So if you hear, I always say sometimes the examiners speak really quickly, so you might not hear the whole question, but if you hear the words self-government and 3 words, that means we the people.
We the people.
So if you hear self-government, think we the people.
We the people.
We the
Thank you.
people. Okay. Who would like to read on page 108?
108, yeah, this one. The Constitution set up the government with the three parts.
Good. So there are 3 parts to the US government. And then Sheme, will you read one more time?
Yeah. Now,
Yes.
third one. And put in called the bleep.
Press.
Pledge.
Branch.
Press.
So,
Pledge.
so here we have a tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on the tree, we call these branches.
Branches.
Branch.
Branches. So we also use that word to talk about our government, the 3 branches of government. Now, when we talk about the branches of government, this is the government for all of United States. We call it our federal government. Federal means all the United States, so all 50 states. And okay, so what's this top picture? What do we see here in the top picture?
Congress.
Wow.
President.
The president.
So the top one, this one is the White House.
The White House.
The one. Congress.
So the White House has the president. So one of the branches of government is the president. And then for this one, the other house that looks white, this one is
Congress.
Congress.
Congress. Good. And then what about who's in this last picture?
Court.
The court.
The court.
Court.
Good. The
Court.
courts.
Court.
The courts, or also the Supreme Court. Yeah.
Supreme Court.
So the three branches of government are Congress,
The president.
the president,
President.
and the courts. The courts.
Oh, don't look here.
Yes, 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 yes,
So
yes.
when we talk about the three branches, this is what we need. There's three different parts of the government. So they have their own powers. Like, let's look at page 109.
109.
Mhm. Who would like to read for me on page 109?
Me.
Okay, Silchan.
Each branch has the same powers. Each branch can do same things, but no branch can control anything. This is called the separation of powers.
Power.
Good. So remember, the United States started with the 13 colonies. And that leader was the King of England. So the King of England could do everything. But the colonists did not like having a king. So when they wrote the Constitution in 1787, they wanted to be able to they did not want just one person to have all the powers. So that's why they have the three branches of government. They did not want one person to become too powerful. They did not want another king. So we can see also in page 109, one moment, let me show the picture of 109, because they've got a really nice picture on page 109 to show how the government works. There we go. Oh, just one moment.
Who are oh, hello.
Hey, are you finished?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's insanely ready.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'll bring you back into class. We're kind of short on time, so I may not have you work with somebody else, but or if you've got to go, that would be fine. Or if you want to just stay for the next 10 minutes to talk after class.
Yes.
Jotan, how did you learn all this?
Okay, so now. So here we can see on page 109. So these are what the different three parts of the government does. So we have Congress,
The president.
President, and
Court.
so we see all three kind of do different things. Like, students, who makes federal laws?
Congress.
Congress. Good. So Congress, they'll write a law. Like, let's say they write a law that says you cannot hurt other people. So then after they write a law, it goes to who does it go to?
President.
The president. So Congress writes the law, but they don't get to finish the law. After they write a law, and what are the two parts of Congress?
In the house.
Good. The Senate and the House.
Senate
So
and
when
the
they
House.
agree on a law, it comes to the president. And the president can say yes to the law, or they can say no to the law. So then there's the two parts. So Congress writes it, and then who signs bills to become laws?
President. The president.
The president. So if he says yes to the law, he would sign his name. He'd sign it, Joe Biden.
Yes.
And who vetoes laws?
President.
President. So if he signs the law, that means yes, it now is a law. But if he vetoes the law or if he rejects the law, then it does not become a law. And then also we have the courts. So we can see here, so let's say Congress writes a law and the president says yes and signs the law and it becomes a law. We see here it says the courts can strike down a law if it does not follow the Constitution. So even if Congress and the president agree on a bill and make it a law, if the courts say no, it does not agree, it does not follow the Constitution, because the Constitution is that supreme law, then it's no longer a law. So that's why we have these three different parts that all kind of work together. And also the president, so the president, he or she or they pick US judges. So they pick the people to be on the courts. And Congress votes yes or no on the people who the president picks. So all three parts of government have to work together. And if one part does something and another part does not agree, then the powers are split. So if, let's say, the president is becoming too powerful and trying to make and the president is trying to make a law without Congress or the courts can reject what the president is doing. So all three have to work together, and one can't be the king. We have no king of the United States. So in our democracy, we've got the three different parts. Okay, so let's see, for the last 10 minutes, let's just practice these 100 questions we've been talking about.
Yes.
So what stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful?
Checks and balances.
Okay.
So you could say checks and balances, or what's the other correct answer? On page 109.
Powers.
Powerful.
Yes, say that again, Sulchum?
Separation of powers.
Good. So everything we're just talking about is called checks and balances, or separation of powers. Good. And the idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words?
We the people.
With the people.
And what is the supreme law of the land?
The
Constitution.
The Constitution.
And when was the Constitution written?
1787.
Good.
1787.
Good. And what is the highest court in the United States?
The Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court. And how many people are on the Supreme Court?
9.
Nine people.
And who is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court?
John Roberts.
John Roberts. Good, good.
John Roberts.
So for your homework this week, I want you to keep reading chapter 7. So we just finished on page 109. So for your homework, you'll be page 110 through 110, and you can do it through 120.
120.
So for this week,
Yes, I didn't get a book.
chapter 7. And also we didn't get to the reading and writing that I had assigned last week. So next week we'll do that reading and writing, which again, that was.
Yeah. Yes.
So next week we'll do the reading. So
Reading and writing.
is Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is in the May.
Good.
Right. Left Congress.
Next one right in the Bay of the right.
What does Congress make?
So,
Of the in
yes,
the right.
yes, good. So for your 100 questions, keep practicing in chapter 7, page 110.
Who led the
120.
Congress? Yeah, who led the Congress?
Or yes, who elects
the people
Congress?
of the Congress?
Good. And then for your reading, I want you to focus on these 4 questions in the sentence.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can I have Pa A? Will you read number 2 for me?
Name one right in the Bill of Rights.
Good. Can I have July 2? Will you read number 4 for me?
Who elected Congress?
Good. Joe Tan, will you read number? Oh, that wasn't. Will you read number 4 for me?
Where does Congress meet?
Good. And Hassan, will you read number 1 for me?
When is Memory Day?
Good. So that will be your reading homework. And then the writing homework. For writing, you're writing. You'll write the answers. So when is Memorial Day?
May.
Okay, good. And what is one right in the Bill of Rights?
Free of the speech in the right.
Is the right.
Good. Freedom of speech is a right.
All right.
And who elects Congress?
The people elect Congress.
People elect Congress.
Good. The people elect Congress. And where does Congress meet?
Congress meet is the Washington D.C.
Washington, D.C.
Good. Congress meets in Washington, D.C. So that will be your writing homework. So you'll practice reading, but then you'll practice spelling or writing this for homework. And next week we'll do a little writing quiz to see what you
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone have any questions about your homework?
No.